We're at our HU Beltsville NCORE monitoring station. It is the largest site we have in the state. We have a kind of duplicate site out in Garrett County on a mountaintop, but it has a little bit less instrumentation at it. We're here today. We have two field operators who are going to be doing a filter exchange on some federal reference PM 2.5 samplers.
Here's one of our FRM samplers. This is a PM 2.5. So right now, the noise that the pump is on is just trying to warm up. It's pretty cold right now. So right now I'm just writing a couple of filter information. Like the date that we're here, we're going to be adding a filter to run in the next 2 days. So here in the screen, we're going to have our ambient monitoring data. It says what temperature it is outside, what temperature it is inside, the pressure, and we're going to do a flow check, which is monitoring what the flow is to make sure that it's running exactly what it says it's running. This is one of our reference models, our AliCats, that we use to check the data, make sure it's running the same way. Ambient pressure outside is 4.3. Our reference says 4.2, very close. Filter temperature probe inside, a little higher at 5 degrees Celsius, and it says about 5.4, so about the same. Checking our pressure, we're at 756, and our AliCat reference is at 758. Next, I'm going to be putting the AliCat flow monitor up here. And I'm going to be activating the flow. Taking it down. I took the average about 3 seconds, and our flow is 16.7, which is right on the dot where it's supposed to be. This concludes the precision check. It has passed. Next, I'm going to be doing a leak check. This checks the whole system, make sure there's no leaks going on. So I'm going to be using my leak check device, which is just this device that makes a closed system. I'm going to be putting this on top and closing the valve. We're going to be activating the leak check externally. It's going to begin testing. It goes for about a minute. This is where I take my time to look around at our beautiful site. All right, so the flow check has completed. It has passed. Next, I'm going to be adding a filter so that the filter is ready to be sampled. The way that the filters work is that there's a chamber that holds it inside here and holds it in place. Our filters are already pre-packaged by the lab. I'm going to be writing down the filter information. There's a filter number that comes on every single filter on top of it. I'm going to be writing that down on our filter sheet. As well as on the filter, I'm going to be writing down what date it's going to be sampling at. I'm going to carefully take out the filter. I have to make sure I don't damage it at all. And I'm going to be inserting this into the filter chamber so that it's ready to be sampled. Currently there's an audit filter in here, which allows me to do my audit without damaging any other filters. So I'm going to put in my filter data and move this audit filter aside so that the filter is ready to be sampled when the date comes. I'm going to go into my sample setup and insert the filter data that I have here. You can hear it as the filter chamber moves the audit filter currently placed in and brings it back out and moves our filter to be sampled, to be ready when sampled. You can hear that the filter has dropped now. And you can tell this is the audit filter that was placed inside. And now this filter is now inside ready to be sampled.
These sample for 24 hours. This one runs every 3 days, as does this one, but this one is a little bit different. It measures PM10 instead of PM 2.5, so it gets the bigger particles. And then the one that Kenna was just working on runs every 12 days, and that's just a comparison to the 1 and 3. So these two units here on the end of the trailer are part of the EPA's chemical speciation network. So basically they are two differing types of particulate matter units, but their filters are sent to EPA lab in Florida, and the particulate matter is then broken down into its constituents. So we actually see what the particulate is made of, be it carbon or any other kind of airborne mineral chemical element. They get breakdowns from these two units.
And with this bag, I'm also going to put the old filters that have already run and sampled into this bag to send back to the lab. These two run together. They're kind of the same instrument, but do different things. So this collects some of the data. I'm going to be warming these up while I get the filters out from there. And change filter, yes. And it's going to be warming up, getting ready, and giving me the data back that is already collected. While that's warming up, I'm going to be collecting the data that already ran about 3 days ago. Go to event, historical event summary, and you can see when the filters have been sampled. So up here, these are the 4 sample filters. You see it has run 24 hours. I'm going to go to volume summary and collect the volume, the filter temperature, and the pressure. Alright, the information I just collected were for the first 2 filters. Now I'm going to be collecting for the second, the third, and the fourth. I'm going to be later putting this data onto the sheets that the lab has provided for us. So right here is kind of shorthand so that I can understand it, but later I'm going to be putting values a little bit more clearly on the lab papers. While I'm here, I am also going to be setting up the next filter dates. So it has already been set that it's going to be sampling on the 10th and the 13th. I can go ahead and exit out these screens and close this. So I'm going to go ahead and take these filters down. Step ladder. These cyclones are here to capture any of the dust and debris that have not been collected in the filters. I'm just going to put these aside. And I have stored the bags to put these in here. They contain stoppers. And these just twist and come right out. Put stoppers on both sides so that the filter is not damaged in transit. And 2 fit in each bag. It's important to the lab that these are very snug. They are traveled with ice packs back to the lab. And I'm going to be taking out the new filters. And putting the old filters that have already been sampled in this bag. They are all labeled, so just in case, double checking that 5Q and 6Q are going to be installed for the next run. And there are 2 colors, green and red, and up here we have labeled 1 is green, 2 is red, the same goes for 3 and 4. There's also a little notch right here that faces out. So I'm going to go ahead and put my thumb there. Go in and twist. bag in the storage bin. Right. Now these filters are ready to be sampled when they're ready.
We have, I believe, at this point in time, excluding special projects, 22 trailers throughout the state of Maryland. Most of them are much smaller than this. They're only like 8 by 10 foot. They contain ozone analyzer, calibrator, and computer. Some of them have a continuous MET system at it, or just one FRM. This trailer here is the largest we have, the most instrumentation, followed by our Essex trailer and our Piney Run monitor out in Garrett County.
And just like I collected the data off of that one, I'm also going to collect the data off of this one. The main data that comes out is how long it has run, if it's run correctly. This also has temperature and pressure data. All right, so I've collected all the data off of the URG. I'm going to open our package that the lab has given us. It comes with a new memory card. So I'm going to be replacing the old memory card with this one. Each of the memory cards have the code that I'm going to be inserting later. I'm going to take the old one out. The new one goes in. The old one is secured to be brought back to the lab. There's also these small filters. They have filter caps I'm going to be taking off. And here in the back of the instrument, I'm going to be using these buttons to get the old filters off of this machine. So this pops right out. I'm going to put these caps, making sure that these filters are secure so that they do not get damaged during transit. There's also some bubble wrap. So we have the old filter and the old memory card. This goes securely back in the bag to be brought back to the lab. All right, so there's only one way for this filter to go securely inside. I'm going to be using the buttons. There you go. Samples come from, they come in these boxes. So I'm going to make sure that I'm taking the sheets that come with the boxes for the right ones. So the ones that I have collected that I'm going to be shipping tomorrow is 3Q, 4Q. I'm going to be taking those data forms to fill out with the data that I collected upstairs. So I'm actually not going to do it right now, but I will do myself a favor, and the data that I collected I'm going to be putting inside here so it's ready to be transferred. And I'm also going to be putting the UPS sticker on the box so that I don't forget to do that tomorrow, so it doesn't come back to us. So there we go. Just package this very snug. I can hug it. And this is going to be going into the fridge for the next day and a half, so it's nice and cold for tomorrow's shipping. We have a little mini fridge here.